to everyone watching and listening from around the world, and welcome. My name is Jedi, Sustainability Coordinator at IMA International. Today we are speaking with Dr. Mansoor Ali. Mansoor is a consultant and one of IMA Open Course facilitators, and he has been working in the national development sector for over 37 years. Today, we are pleased to be talking with Mansoor in the final part of the three-part interview series on capacity building in developing countries. So, thank you for this opportunity, Mansoor. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today. So, on our last discussion, we were talking about capacity building and the popular use of the internet and mobile phone from the mid-90s onwards, as well as history, evolution, and your initial learning and reading from that first part. So, for this final discussion of this three-part series, we'll be talking about the future of capacity development and priorities for 2024 and coming years, which is really interesting. There's a lot going on nowadays. So Mansoor, what's your thought on the future of capacity development and the priorities for 2024 and beyond? So based on this discussion, could you recommend some of your strategies to improve capacity building, learning, and skills development in developing country, please?
Thank you. Thank you, IMA, and thank you, Jedi, for this very important discussion. In the last two talk, we discussed and we talked more about the evolution and history of capacity development. We talked about the influence, both positive and negative, of the internet and connectivity. In this talk, I would like to talk more about the future and what are the key things we need to prioritize for capacity development, and what should work. And as I said, the capacity development is a bit out of fashion, but we are all using it in many other ways. So we don't use that term, but the concept is still very much live and active. So to improve the capacity development, which means the skills and abilities of people, abilities to do things better. First thing is we need to accept that local capacity through local people is very, very important, right?
Yeah.
And localization of capacity development is both cost effective, but it's quite important because we need to make a connection between them. But before that, I must say that we need to invest more on capacity development. We have titles like insight managers and all that, which are very important, but we still need to invest on capacity development. The reality now is the training centers owned by the governments and by a number of international agencies, they have reduced in numbers in a big way. So I think the investment is reverse, and it's done in maybe differently, but my impression is that we are not paying enough attention on investing more on capacity development. So local focus is very important, and building on local experts and developing models where local experts can bring their knowledge, use them to train other local people, and the international element needs to think about that where international trainers can play a role. So we need a bit of rethinking about that arrangement, and we need to make it a bit more local if possible.
Mm.
A part of that uh, strategy is also South-South relationship. So I'm involved in other programs, and one of the things we are trying to do is to build up South-South learning programs and capacities and all that, because people can learn a lot from their neighboring countries, slightly better off developed countries, even some other countries where things are not right, but the few things are promising and positive. So that South-South learning is also very important. And I think that's the second priority in capacity development, that the localization and South-South learning is important. Now, I will quote a couple of examples from IMA courses which we develop and moving.
Yes.
One of the things is when you deliver capacity development, there are three elements within our courses, and I feel those elements work very well to date. So you need knowledge. So we have our handbooks and support material. You need engagement. So we have our online and face-to-face webinars. But then you have the relationship and sustained relationships, which I mentioned in the past uh, discussions. So we have mentorship and arrangements so people can connect with us next 6 days. So we have all these three things operates in our courses. We form community of practice. We people learn from each other. We have material. We have discussions and webinars, and this is all sustained. I think if we scale up these systems at national levels, they are very good models in my opinion, and they lead to capacity development. And I'm sure IMA and other organizations can help in that. I think the fourth point is the with internet and accessibility and better programs, apps, we can create better documents, easy to read documents, because for people whose English is not their first language, understanding things is a little bit difficult. If you give them 120 pages of report, it's
Yeah.
quite likely they will not read it. And as
Yeah.
I said before, I was reading material but without understanding. So I think it's important that we make things easier for people. I have some examples to share with you, but in one case, they have produced videos, they have produced shorter summaries, and they have produced easy to write, and now they are moving towards translations. So I think these elements are very important for knowledge products, that we can make them easier and accessible. I'm doing this program on video. I used to do blogging quite a lot, but this is the first time I'm
Mm,
doing end of my year blog on a video, because I know people like to listen more
yeah,
videos, and
definitely.
ease of using them in other trainings and courses is very good. So we need to think about ease of accessing knowledge, and and that is my agenda and preference for next year. And then couple more points is the human-centeredness, uh, softness, and understanding what is good for people. Because I think we make things sometimes technically difficult, and sometimes structurally, more straitjacket. So we need to be flexible in our approach and make sure that people do it flexibly. The flexibility is very important, and people adopt it. There are differences how different cultures understand the differences, how men, women, girls, children learn things. So we need to incorporate those things in our capacity development journeys.
Mm,
And I think these are really some of the things which are very important. As I said before, institutional development is very important, and it remain a priority. It's slightly old-fashioned term now, but I personally think for future it's very important that we create local institutions, develop them, whether these are community organizations or government institutions. But they are very important because they are very close to the problems. They are very close to the challenges. So I think these are some of my recommendations as we move forward and as we are starting our new journeys with excitement and energy in 2024. So, yeah,
that's
please.
that's pretty good, man. So, based on that, I have two questions emerging from what I've been listening. The first part is you mentioned about documentations and like we want to make it more accessible for people whose first English not their whose English not their first language. Do you have any ideas or how IME could make that happen?
I mean, I am already working on this journey because I think they have a number of face-to-face courses in countries, and some
Yeah.
of those led by local experts. So I am
Mm,
setting some good examples. I wish we can train more local trainers
yeah,
because at some point I wish we can have only quality assurance by IMN some of our courses and locally people lead it. So this is something I'm in discussion with my colleagues, and it may happen next year, but year
mm,
after next.
yeah,
I think on translations, we are not on that journey, and it's quite a large investment for a small organization.
yeah,
But again, we are keep looking for resources where we can do translations, and we can record such videos in local languages and
yeah,
all
definitely.
that. So it's something which is a priority, and we need to decide what we can do in the available resources and time. But these are important.
Wish thank you, Mansoor, for answering that. But that has lead to my second question as well, actually, in terms of localizations and South to South cooperation that you mentioned. My background is international relations, so it's just all about globalizations, international cooperation, UN bodies. But when it comes to localization, it's not has been mentioned so much. I know that IMA encouraging local consultants and local trainers, so it's, it's also make a positive impact to environment. So you don't have to travel from UK to Thailand, for example, to train, but instead using local Thai trainers whose experience or worked at IMA before to train. Um, so my question is, in terms of localization or local corporations. Um, what would be the ideal on how you could make that local corporations like global, like have an impact like globally, so every continent are doing it, for example. I know it's a difficult topic, but I just want to hear your thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, Jade, I am very pleased that you asked this question, and it's one of my points of discussion in all three vlogs we recorded, that we are now in a situation and era when we have a lot of very supportive global policies. We have more resources. They may be under climate change or other development, but we have more resources and we have more attention on local issues. But because of that, what happened, in my opinion, is there is also a rising gap between how much local people absorb, understand, and deliver on those global expectations. So there are I can give lots of examples on that, that the global policies are not understood properly at the local level. And I was thinking about it quite a lot in 2023. Um, and there are number of reasons, but couple of reasons are very important. And I think one of the reasons is the language and the concepts becoming more and more alienated to the people who are local. So we need to make things more understandable and accessible. It
Mm,
can happen through trainings, but trainings
yeah.
also can be expensive. So we need to make things easier for people to do. If they
Mm,
need support, somebody should be available to talk to them. So we need to bring in more human element to that.
yeah.
Now
Definitely.
we're removing human element from the way we do things, and
Mm,
human element remain important, right? And I think that's how we can make things easier and improve localization. Local leadership is also very important. Local case studies are important. Local stories are important.
mm,
So I think you are right that localization is getting lesser attention, and we must it's very important part of the capacity development, and we must make all efforts. And there are low hanging fruits, but there are also longer term strategies we need to work on to enhance and improve localization. Thank you.
mm. Thank you very much, Mansoor. That's really interesting. Yeah, we just as IMA, I know we are a small organization, but we make like big impact throughout the world. And I think what you mentioned is really key, is as in terms of translations and accessibility. So I want to make even more impact. Maybe we just need to make it more accessible to everyone,
Yeah,
regardless to their backgrounds and languages. So might be starting from um, internal capacity. I know that I may have diverse background teams. Like for example, I'm from Thailand. I speak Thai, for example, and obviously you have different background as well,
yeah.
and so as other team members. So I think we could start using those internal capacity or low-hanging fruit that we already have, and yeah, experiment from there. So thank you very much, Mansoor, for joining me
Thank you.
today. I'd really enjoy hearing about your thought on the future of capacity development and priorities for next year and the upcoming years. Um, so for everyone, this is the end of IMA's three-part interview series with Mansoor on capacity building in developing countries. So if you enjoy watching this, the first and the second part of this interview series are available for you. So you can hear more from Mansoor. So thank you, Mansoor, for today. Have a lovely day, and it was lovely to speak with you. Um, and thank everyone, and thank you to everyone watching and listening from all around the world. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the day. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.